So we're looking at damped functions here and limits. You just want to be able to interpret limits and talk about, be able to solve something like this. So this says the limit as x approaches infinity of e to the negative x sine 2x. So sketch it first real quickly, just a rough idea. It's an exponential, it's a sine curve, so it's sort of jumping between the two, getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So as x approaches infinity, here's infinity just over here, as x approaches infinity, what does y approach? You can see that y is getting closer and closer and closer to 0. And that's it. That's all the work you have to do here. You just have to interpret it. The limit as x approaches infinity of e to the negative x sine 2x equals 0. Now, of course, there's sort of 4 questions that that will confront you with these kinds of things. So you might get a question like this: the limit as x approaches negative infinity, e to the negative x cos 5x. Now, again, if you do a quick sketch, it's e to the negative x, so it's a decay curve again. Getting closer and closer and closer and closer. It's a cosine, not that it really matters, but it's a cosine curve. It starts up here, comes down. But we're not interested in that direction because we're doing negative, x is approaching negative infinity. So we're actually heading off in this direction. It gets larger and larger and larger and larger. So the limit as x approaches negative infinity is equal to plus or minus infinity. Now, notice we're approaching a single point, 0. But here, we're not approaching a single point. We're approaching 2 very large points, infinity and negative infinity. All right, there's 2 more, obviously. The limit as x approaches infinity of e to the 2x cos 4x. So the cos 4x doesn't really factor into all of this. It just tells us where it starts from and what the period is. But it's this e to the 2x that matters. So this time, it's not a decay curve, it's a growth curve. And our cosine curve bounces between the two. The limit as x approaches infinity, here's infinity over here. That's a joke, that's not where infinity is. But you can see that as we go in this direction, we're moving towards a larger and larger and larger curve. So plus or minus infinity is our limit here. Finally, we have the limit as x approaches negative infinity of e to the 5x sine half x. Now again, this stuff doesn't really matter, it's just our curve and our period. What matters is this bit here. So it's something like this, e to the 5x. Again, that's a growth curve. This is a sine curve, so it starts here and it gets larger and larger and larger, but x is the limit as x approaches negative infinity. We're going in this direction. Smaller, 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 smaller. So that means the limit as x approaches negative infinity of e to the 5x sine half x is equal to 0. All right, not a lot of maths to do here, maths if you like. You've just got to look at it, interpret it, think about what it would look like, and then answer.